hand it over.
Recording.
I'm saying new.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the SHRA meeting for Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Chair Duncan?
Here.
Vice Chair Nunley is absent. Commissioner Manfor?
Here.
Commissioner Griffin is absent. Commissioner Jefferson?
Here.
Commissioner Ramos is absent. Commissioner Ross?
Here.
Commissioner Starks?
Yes.
And Commissioner Wu is also absent.
All right, so we have a quorum. Are there any changes to today's agenda?
There is none.
Okay, so then we will move on to the public comment section of the agenda. Would you please read the public comment script?
Persons wishing to address the Commission on subjects not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the Commission may do so at this time. The Commission cannot discuss or take action on matters not on the agenda for this meeting. To speak on an agenda item, please fill out a speaker card and give it to the clerk. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes per item, and we have no speakers.
Okay. So then we will move on to the consent items on the agenda. Would you mind reading the consent item wording, please?
All matters listed on consent are to be approved by one motion unless a commissioner or the public requests a separate action is taken on a specific item.
So commissioners, can I get a motion to approve the consent items?
Motion.
So moved by Commissioner Manfor. Second? Seconded by Commissioner Starks. If there are no objections, we'll pass the motion to approve the consent items. Hearing no objections, the motion passes unanimously. So then we will move on to the presentations for today. Would you please read the title of item number 2?
Budget presentation for the Administration Department.
And we have a presentation from staff. Yes.
Good evening. My name is Jim Shields, members of the Commission. I'm here today to talk to you about the agency's administrative budget for 2025. First slide, we have a summary of the expenditures of the administration departments, and I'll show at the end of the slides which departments that it encompasses. But the 2025 expenditures for the administration is 3.32% of the total agency budget, which is flat from last year. I gave the same presentation, it's almost the same number. And on the construction side, it's a little less. It was a little over 0.7%. It's now 0.69%. And that's due to some changes in the head count that we have in the department. So it's a relatively flat number for the administration department. So we've had a very busy year, and we're going to have a very busy year coming up in 2025. We've had a lot of training going on in the organization, and we've had a lot of hiring going on. But what I wanted to talk about a little bit about is what we're going to be doing in the future, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the major goals that we've achieved so far this year. But a big part of 2024 was spent launching our new HRIS system, and it's a fully integrated HRIS system that is cloud-based, but more importantly, it's something that the employees can use that they never had before. We used to have an Excel spreadsheet type system, and it was an old system, and so it's much more efficient for the employees. And it's a self-service portal. So for example, if you want to go in and change your W-2s, or if you want to go in there and change your allotments where they're going, you can do that. But before, you just have to call IT and HR and make those changes. Another thing that we're going to do in 25 is implement a new management policy where we're going to take a look at all policies in the agency and streamline them and make them all look the same, so that it's easier. They're all online, everybody has access to them. One of the big things that we like to do is employee engagement. We spend a lot of time, and that's part of our DEI plan, our diversity, equity, and inclusion plan. And spend a lot of time on that. In 24, there are couple different initiatives we had that we took some surveys, and in 2022 we had an 88% success rate in that, and we're still about the same rate, which means that employees they seem very happy working here, but they're which means they like working here. So we continually look at the self-satisfaction and morale of the organization, and we're pretty proud of what we've done so far. Another thing that you don't get to see a lot of is contract negotiations. And so I want to spend a couple of seconds on that. We are in the middle of negotiations with our two unions. We have AFSCME and we have an employee associations. And we started negotiating a few months ago, and they're going very well. And the negotiations, we've had 3 meetings so far, and they're separate meetings with each union. And we expect to have those signed and ready to go by the end of the year. And they'll be effective January 1st of 2025. So we'll let you know more about that when it comes on, but I don't have any details on that so far. The next department is IT. I've listed some of the most impactful projects that have tremendously helped the agency continue to support our most vulnerable community. The technology enhancements, improvements have streamlined our processes, making it easier for our clients and the people that live in our housing to access their documents related to their wait list, the applications, and their files. Some of the things we'll look at in 2025. Security is a big issue for us, and I know you've seen a lot in the newspaper about companies getting hacked. And so we're going to go to what we call double check-in. So from now on, in the future, people are going to have to log in twice and use not just once, and you're going to have some security measures, so we're looking at that. And we spend a lot of time on that. We usually get 400 to 500 hits every day for people trying to break into our system. Now, the larger you are, the more you get, but we get all the time. So we've been very successful in that. So we spend a lot of time, and our IT department is very good about doing that. We have 2 people that spend a lot of time doing that every day. And it's 24/7, so we're constantly looking at that. Technology is another thing that we do. We spend a lot of time thinking about how we can streamline for our employees and for our customers. And so I have our IT director here, I'll introduce him later. He spends a lot of time looking at streamlining and process improvement, and we'll do that. And the last thing is being more transparent. We're very transparent, but opening up our website, spending more time on the website, what can we do to make it more transparent and provide more information to the public? So we'll be doing that. Procurement, as you can see, we're very busy. We have thousands of contracts that we work on. Even though we're a small organization, we have a lot of contracts with a lot of different people. And one of the things that procurement is working on, and we talked about this last year a little bit, is to streamline, and we put on a new system to make it easier for people to want to do business with us. So it used to be a manual system where a contractor would need to come in and fill out a form, and now they go online. Everything's online. It makes it much more easier. And what we're trying to do is make it easier for the small business person, the Section 3 business person, to come in and do business with us. So we spend a lot of time on that, and again, IT is involved very much with that. The other thing is that we need to spend more time training our staff, our regular staff on contracting, how to use the process, as well as spending time with our vendors on training them how to use our systems. So they'll spend a lot of time in 2025 doing that. And construction services is busy 24/7. One of the things that we're working on, I know there's a subcommittee working on the turns, and our group is working on the turns as well. And this group takes the hardest houses to rehab, the ones that are over $50,000. And some of them are 100,000, some are more than that. And we spend a lot of time doing those expensive turns, as well as working on other projects with the development project on larger projects as well. So some of the things that we've looked at and we've done so far this year is that group has worked on 33 multifamily lending program projects that they oversee, the construction. They work with Mark Hamilton on the implementation of all the RAD projects, and so they're working on that now. So we have one person, Maude Schwab, who spends all day with Mark Hamilton. He's the construction manager, and he spends all day with him working on that. So they're very successful in that, both Mark and Ahmad. Another big one that they're working on is on the triangle up above here, where we're working on putting the light rail. Mike's group is working on cleaning up the property. It was contaminated, so he spent a lot of time working on that. And we're now at the point where we're ready to spend some time and do some groundbreaking, grand opening. And Mike also, his group also works with Victoria at Marisol Village. He's responsible for building the Early Childhood Education Center. And also he's responsible for making sure that he works on the block C and D of Marisol Village, finalizing those and working on the construction with the team there. And last, but definitely not least, is Amber's group. Amber has come here and changed radically how we do business in the agency shop. She's streamlined it, she's put everything online, and she's made it much more efficient. And I'm really proud of what she's been able to do. And so for example, this year, she's worked on 100 public requests. There's been 90 staff reports, over 150, 700 statements of economic interest. We've had 30 public hearings. And so she spends a lot of time making sure that this operation runs very smoothly. And so I'm real proud of what she does there. For 2025, we're going to spend some time, and she'll be working on holding training on success at the podium. And so when we have new employees, being able to help them get up here and learn how to speak to the commission and speak to the city and county. She also will taking a look at reviewing and streamlining the staff report process. And one of the things we'd really like to do is do a formal training for new commissioners. So she's going to work on that. So that's important to us. So at this time, I'd like to introduce some of the managers that are here. Some are not able to make it tonight. So Tracy, the HR manager, was not able to make it. Lauren Gray is the IT director. Lauren's here. And Cindy Abercrombie, is she here, Cindy? Cindy's not, she's not. Megan, I don't want to tell you where she is. She's in Bali right now. So, but she's on vacation. Mike Taylor is here, and you've seen Mike before. And Ahmad, who is at Rad Construction. He's at home with his baby, Brendan, so he's a really good guy. And Amber's right there. So with that, we're up here. We can answer any questions that you'd like to have. We're all here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments from commissioners? Commissioner Manfor.
Just a quick question. Can you provide the website for the procurement of contracts? Because I know I went to an event recently, some people were interested in doing different contracts.
I will. I can get you on there on SHRA.org, but there is a website, and I'll get that for you.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some software that we have that we can go directly into. It's called OpenGov, but I'll get that for you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Ross?
Yes, thank you. For the 700 forms,
Yes.
I was just curious because I saw 150. Who are the others besides us that have to do?
Most of the management team.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the employees that work on some projects that spend dollars. So a lot of the staff is required to sign those as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Jefferson?
Hi, is the HCV portal up and running currently, or is that a goal?
The resident portal?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I personally have never been able to access it
Oh, you have?
as a resident. It always has an error message.
So I know that when was the last time that?
Within the last 6 months.
Okay, yes. So the resident portal is up. I was gonna say, if you tried this afternoon and it was not working,
Okay.
we did have an internet outage this afternoon, but that's unusual. But it is up and working, so if you have a problem, yeah, let me talk or reach out to me and let me know.
Okay,
There may be something going on with your site or something.
okay, thank you.
Sure.
I just want to say thank you, Jim, for this portion of the presentation. We don't always work directly with the staff, other than if they come before us, or we work with Amber a lot, but we do appreciate all the work that everyone puts into for the residents, for putting together staff reports and everything else that goes on with SHRA. So I appreciate you giving us that
Thank you very much.
summary.
Thank you. We don't get a chance, an opportunity to speak a lot with our groups, but we're behind the scenes, and we think we're pretty important here, and we really enjoy working at this place, and it's a very important message that we have for you, and we love the mission.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any comments for item number 3 or 2?
There are none.
Okay, then we will move on to item number 3. Would you please read the title of
FY 2022 Public Housing Assessment System Scores Update.
All right, so our update is provided by the PHAS Task Force member Amanfor.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I will be providing a brief summary of our meeting, which occurred on August 7th. We discussed the purpose of the meeting, which was to provide an update on the FAST initiatives and SHRA's efforts, as well as provide an overview and gain input on the proposed residence incentive programs. SHRA staff provided updates on the 4 FAST sub-indicators and the efforts underway to improve the FAST scores. These include Kay Worthington from Finance provided an update on the fiscal year 2023's audit, and the committee discussed the timeline and major milestones of the audit. Suzette Hawkins from Public Housing provided an update on the pre-inspection efforts and the new physical inspection process. And Suzette also discussed using payment plans to increase rent collection and efforts to increase the agency's occupancy number with dedicated staff to prepare units for occupancy. Data related to these sub-indicators were also reviewed. Cheyenne Caraway from Public Housing provided an overview of the proposed resident incentive program and sought ideas and input from the task force members. The goal of the program is to encourage residents to pay their rent on time and keep their units inspection ready. Our next meeting is in person on September 4th at 3 p.m. All right, that's all.
Thank you very much. Any questions from commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Ross.
Yes, can you elaborate a little bit more on what incentive programs are, what those are? The incentive.
So I think this was piggybacked on our previous discussion from our SHRA meeting as far as ways to get staff, to get residents to pay their rent. So incentive programs such as, I think they mentioned different things that they were trying to do, but this is just part of a piggyback on it. We discussed it prior to the presentation in our last meeting, so this is just a rehash of that discussion.
Okay.
Answer a bit about the resident incentive program. So really what the goal is to kind of track that positive behavior from residents. So as residents are kind of paying their rent on time, or as we're doing our periodic inspections of their units, if we note like a perfect condition of a unit, or we know that they have a 12-month like complete solid payment history, one of the things that we're looking at potentially is like doing a drawing, and we could offer like incentives like doing like an appliance improvement in a unit, from going from a standard to maybe like a stainless steel. Or for some of our communities where we have senior populations where they've kind of expressed interest in outside gardens, looking to kind of facilitate that. So anything that would kind of lead to the further beautification of their units. But those are the things that we were looking at as far as like resident incentives. Things that, and then looking to get feedback from our residents themselves to find out what they would be interested or motivated by.
Thank you.
And then just also to follow up in terms of the keeping the units inspection ready, we are transitioning to a new system, Inspire, And under that particular regulations from HUD, it goes from looking more the outside property to the interior, to the actual inside unit. And then we're scored very heavily on that. And because we don't have as much control over the interior of the unit versus the exterior, it's really more education with residents. So that's what this inspection ready is, so that we can pass. Because if the unit fails inspection, it's the agency that still will take a hit on those types of things. So it's a outreach and opportunity to also get more ideas from our resident committee as well as this task force of how we can achieve those goals.
Thank you. Commissioner Starks.
Yeah, I think maybe you guys got some feedback, I think, during our task force meeting we talked about, where's Mark? We were concerned about whether those incentives, we thought that it might be better that the incentives be something really off the beaten path of the actual beautification of the home, because it might lead, it might be things that we were going to do anyway. It might lead to conversations around why can't we get this done anyway? Why isn't SHRA going to do, shouldn't they do this anyway? We've done this at SMUD, but we made sure that it was something totally outside of the focus of, if it was in that kind of curtilage of what we might do for the homes, we thought it would lead to people, it might lead to a whole set of different concerns or questions around why aren't we doing this anyway in terms of beautification. And that's, we discussed some of that at that task force. And I think it was received by staff pretty well, that, you know, things like paint a baseball game, tickets to a game, or something that is totally different than SHRA's outside of their focus would probably be a better incentive than something having to do with the work that would be or could be done, and it just might lead to other things. That was just our input as I recall.
Yeah, just one comment. I like that because, you know, groceries are high. You know, you could get I'm not on the task force, but it just made me think of something. You know, rabies or some gift card where, you know, you can't purchase any kind of alcohol or things like that, but you get $100 gift card for groceries. That's a lot of incentive, and that could be useful to their own personal costs. So anyway, or their fun, their enjoyment, or their personal bottom line. So I just in hearing that, I would agree. I was a little curious about the incentive. So yeah, I guess I might get excited about it still. Maybe not. If it works. But it's all good. Thank you.
No, if I could just comment on that, I think that those are excellent suggestions, and I think it is great if we can be able to provide those type of incentives, like you said, that are things that are out of the norm, things that, you know, will really help enhance their bottom line. However, as a government entity, you know, we are bound by a gift of public funds. So you cannot use public funds for those type of activities. However, if we were able to get some type of philanthropic donations or anything like that that's not tied to it, we'd be able to use those. Or if, you know, we get donations, we could use those for those purposes. Whereas the things that we're talking about in terms of an upgrade of the appliances, then we're allowed to do that because that's a part of the normal operating funds that we receive from the federal government. So that's just one of those things we have to balance and try and figure out exactly, you know, how we fund it. But our money is limited to, you know, certain things.
Commissioner Ross.
I got maybe one, but it's a real one though. But what about TVs? Are there like permanent TVs that stay in the?
No.
No. That'd be a good incentive if you said this belongs to SHRA, but you can hold on to it. if we
Yeah,
like it,
no,
right?
we don't, we
Okay,
don't do
got it.
TVs. But we do microwaves.
Microwave, that could work. A fancy microwave would be really good. Yeah.
That's considered, an appliance.
Mhm.
So,
Thank you very much, Commissioner Manfor, for that update. Are there any public comments on this item?
There is not.
Okay. That will move us to the Executive Director's report.
So, in terms of executive director's report, I just, first of all, want to thank the administration team. They're the people behind the scenes. Like you said, you don't get a chance to see them doing their presentations, but without a very strong administration department, we can't do our jobs. I mean, we absolutely depend on them. They impact and affect everything that we do, and they work very, very hard. They understand how important their internal customers are, and really, really step up and go above and beyond to ensure that, our systems are safe. I mean, there are other housing authorities, knock on wood, who have been hacked and had cyber attacks and have been held ransom, literally, for dollars, for all kinds of information, sensitive information, that has, been acquired. And so we're very fortunate that our IT staff does just an outstanding job of making sure that our systems are safe, that, we are guarding against it. And the sheer volume that has increased is just mind-boggling of how constant and frequent that people are always trying to get into our systems. So just hats off to them and really everyone within the administration department. They just do outstanding work, and want to give a big shout out to them, everything that they do. Then also wanted to talk about, the task force and our continued appreciation for working in collaboration with the staff, providing feedback and input as we move forward. So really want to thank those members who have signed up, as well as the Resident Advisory Board and representation from them. We think this is very important to hear what our residents have to say. So I really appreciate that as well. And then I wanted to move on to kind of our calendar events and things that are coming up. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 4th. So please make sure you put that on your calendars if you haven't already there. And then we have some great milestones for several projects to celebrate. One is St. Clair at Capitol Park, formerly the Capitol Park Hotel. They're having a dedication and grand opening on Wednesday, September 4th at 11 a.m. So if you are available, please drop in and participate in that. This is a $77 million project that converted 180 unit SRO into 134 studio units. And it's really absolutely gorgeous. I mean, some of the views are just outstanding, but it has been a long, hard, Christine's over there like, yes, very long, very hard, conversion process. So we're very excited about it, and would love to have you come out and participate. And this building will serve people who were formerly homeless. And as you remember, it started out as a shelter. We used it as a shelter. And boy, that was an experience when you're dealing with a building that's over 100 years old. So, but we got through that, and went through the renovation. So Mercy Housing will be hosting that big celebration. And then we have another groundbreaking that same week on Friday, September 6th, the San Juan Apartments groundbreaking celebration at 5700 Stockton Boulevard. This is the first of their phases. I think, are they gonna be 2 or 3 phases? 2 phases, so this is the first phase. And we have worked a long time on this project. It was formerly owned by the redevelopment agency. There was a hotel and mobile home park that was cleared many, many years ago. I don't know how long ago was that.
Was it the 90s or early 2000s? Maybe it was early 2000s.
No, I was here, so it was, I think it was 2000, yeah. So anyway, we purchased the property, and then have been working very hard to finally get to the stage for development. It literally sits on the boundary between the city and the county, so some parcels are in the city, some parcels were in the county. We had to have special legislation, that was carried by the state so that all of these things could merge together and we could do this particular project. It's just been a long time coming, and so we're very excited that we're gonna do the groundbreaking on Stockton Boulevard at San Juan. A lot of stuff happening on Stockton Boulevard, a lot of units coming online here. So if you have an opportunity to come out and join us on Friday, September 6th at 10 a.m. For that momentous occasion for San Juan, we would love to have you there. And those are all the updates that I have.
Thank you very much. I do not have anything for the commission chair report, but do any commission members have anything to report?
I think I just want to, on behalf of the board, reiterate how grateful we are to the staff, the admin staff especially. You guys do a wonderful job. I know it doesn't have to be said, but we want to say it. We want to say it very proudly from this dais so that everyone knows it, okay? We're excited about what you guys do. We know it is hardly ever shouted from, but we know what's going on. We know what you're doing. So thank you for all your hard work.
And I'm making my duty to make sure people know about it on the outside, so I'm always raving about SHRA. So if you don't know that, anybody that I speak to, I'm always saying, oh, they're doing this. I'm always raving about it.
Yes, thank you so much. Did you want to introduce your new staff?
Yes. We're so excited. We have a new director of finance. Irene has been with us 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So, you know, she keeps showing up, so we're excited every day. Irene here? Yeah, she's But yeah, we're very excited to have Irene join our team in our finance department. They just work really hard. They've been doing a great job. And with her at the helm, we're thrilled. She has a great background and actually worked in a redevelopment agency in, was it San Jose?
San
Does she
Jose.
want to give us a speech? Come on. Come on.
You're on the spot. So I mean, the moment we saw her resume, we're like, someone who did redevelopment, she can commiserate with us for such a bad decision to get rid of redevelopment. But I'm really understanding, you know, the work that we do. So Irene, maybe if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you love working at SHRA for the past 2 weeks.
Well, thank you, Michelle. Thank you, commissioners. So I started my career with the San Jose Redevelopment Agency back in the day when redevelopment was really a strong tool in municipalities across California. So from there, I moved on to the Fremont Redevelopment Agency, and then unfortunately there, I saw the dissolution of redevelopment across the state. And so worked in a number of public agencies since then, but as Michelle said, you know, there's just nothing like, I guess, that kind of feeling of homecoming, and I'm glad I found my home here at the SHRA about 2 weeks ago. It's an incredible organization. Had a chance to visit the HCV offices earlier today at 630 I Street. So very excited to be here. It's great to find a place that, you know, is so passionate, beginning with employees, you know, the residents. It's incredible here. So just wanted to kind of give that brief introduction, and thank you for being so welcoming, and just so very appreciative of staff as well. So
Thank you. Thank you for letting us put you on the spot. Okay, since there is no other business, I will adjourn this meeting.